Lutz, and welcome to FrontLines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminati, and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons. Well, it's the second day of our attempt to get back into the live streaming. I'm monitoring my systems here. I'm trying to position everything so that I could actually do this. No green screen. Went back to the old style. I used to do this on this particular laptop, but green screen can't take place on a live stream. System's just not capable of it. But you know, it's okay. Now, using the webcam itself is something that I'm watching out for now. I've been tailoring things to make sure that I'm going to be able to do this. You know, slow down the amount of frames per second. You know, that it's capturing. I don't know if it's going to hold up or everything is okay, but there was some let's say background software that seemed to have been causing some conflicts. So that's also gone, but it's taken a lot of trial and error to do this. And there it goes, it's saying the same thing, not enough to keep the stream alive. So let me go ahead, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn off the video. That will probably help it out. So we'll see if that makes it any better. So while we're doing these experiments just to see what we can get across, maybe I could do some live things for a bit, and then I think it gets overwhelmed. So I do have some videos and things that I'm going to want to show you that are queued up already. This is, I titled this one, California Sold for Sale to China for $1 trillion. And why did I say this? Well, it looks to be the narrative is being set right now. And are you going to see a narrative out there where they can say, oh, well, California's for sale, you know, $1 trillion to the first come, first served. Now, first of all, how could that possibly be? How could, say, Gavin Newsom decide to sell California? He can't, right? But what he's asked for is $1 trillion in aid, right? So $1 trillion in aid is the what we're going to look at right now. So California coronavirus update. Governor Gavin Newsom calls for an additional $1 trillion in federal aid. Now, this was from May 11th. So, setting the stage for what is about to happen, right? The things that are coming down is like the next virus to hit us, right? Because we say, oh, the second wave. Right? So I was just looking into California, Newsom and China, because it appears that China, he's also asking China in March for a loan of $1 trillion. So let me talk with you a little bit about this particular move. China has a plan to basically take over the world, right? To be the center. This is part of the deep state tactic. They were to be the manufacturing center. The one road, one belt, meaning one road leading to China. This was in place. They were positioning themselves worldwide. And this is not a good thing, keeping in mind that China is a communist dictatorship. You have no rights, you own nothing. And what they've been doing is allowing some capitalism in to allow for this expansion, because they found out pure communism, nobody does anything. So they've changed how their tactics are, but what we're really looking at is mafia type tactics being taken by the Chinese Communist Party around the world to seize power, assets, resources, and they look at what is in America, freedom, as completely the enemy to who they are. So what would be in their best interest is to get rid of America. And they were successfully working with all of these traitorous politicians to make that happen. So if we're looking at what China's been doing for all this time, and within the American government, and that means not just Washington, D.C., it also means the governors, it also means the mayors, it also means the head of every type of organization. They're all changing the way people respond to China. They try to make sure that China doesn't look in any way as being in bad light. You know, they make them toe the party line by giving them money. I'm going to go back to a story that I've said here on occasion. Back in 2014, I was involved with a group of people that went to Mozambique, Africa. The purpose was to help Mozambique develop their natural resources. There was oil concessions, gas concessions, mineral concessions, and all of these things were on the table. What was the reason that my group was brought there? It was because one of my friends was sat on a board of directors for a hydroelectric dam engineering company. And they had a very good reputation throughout Africa as to doing things fairly, honestly, on budget, on time. And they were called in to talk with the government of China. So I'm sorry, the government of Mozambique. And the reason was because China has developed such a bad reputation in Africa. Though the money that was being offered was coming from China for them everywhere in the world where there was natural resources, they did not trust the China government, the Chinese Communist Party. They wanted someone that they could rely on to actually develop those natural resources, but use the Chinese money. So that's where we came in. So we actually developed an arrangement as a management firm in which this would all happen. But the story going on back then was really about what happened in the Congo. The country of the Congo in the middle of Africa. China made a deal with the government. China was to develop the natural resources, and they came in and they built whole cities. They built a lot of infrastructure for these cities to develop the natural resources. They did not use any local labor. They brought in only Chinese people. They took out the resources and spared them away to China. In essence, though there was money paid to the government of Congo, the main benefit would be for an economy to be developed in the Congo. That did not happen. It was, in fact, they were just abused, right, by China. The whole country, all the people were abused by China. So this is some of the tactics that are being scrutinized by other countries that say, oh well, we saw what happened there. We don't want that to happen here. Recently, a year ago, we were talking with TUI in Fiji. If you remember back then, Fiji's government was out of money. The IMF, World Bank, United Nations has not been feeding money out in the way of loans to these countries anymore. Why? Why aren't they sending money out to these countries anymore? Why did they turn off the spigot? Well, this is part of the plan, right? To basically to remove all the countries, make them all crash, right? So that they can come in the end and rescue everyone, right? But when they do that, they make a new deal with the devil, literally, Lucifer, because this is who's driving this, right? Actually, if I was talking, I would never imagine talking this way about Lucifer, being behind the scenes, and whether or not there is a, some entity, some being on the planet with that title, or it's under the ground, or it's just a spirit, or whether or not it's just the physics, the metaphysics, you might say, of what result of greed and where that takes people with this money system, this debt slavery system. It doesn't matter. What matters is that that this system has produced an evilness that basically is a cancer on the world. And so when we say that they're going to be following Lucifer, it's because that's what they say they're doing. Right? It's their statues of Baphomet that they're moving around in front of the White House, or in Washington D.C., or to New York, and they're moving the statue around and doing ceremonies. What is that for? Right? That this is what they believe in. You don't have to believe that there is an entity there. You just have to realize that there is a group of people that are following this religion, and that they're doing something. And part of this is to take over the world. So what's happened now, say as we're saying in Fiji, there was no money. So who came in and gave a little bit of money to Fiji? Who gave a small loan? I think it was $35 million. If you give a starving country that needs billions, 35 million, right, and you're putting it in the hands of the government, who gets paid? Do all the school teachers get paid? No. Do all the military get paid? Well, maybe some of the generals, right? Maybe some of the upper, staff. But the government people take money, right? And what did the president the Prime Minister of Fiji do? He went out looking for more money. He had enough to fuel up the gas tanks in the jet, and then flew around looking for more money around the world. So why did China give that money? It's a debt. It gives them influence and power over Fiji. So if they're doing that worldwide, they're doing that in organizations like in universities in America, or in all the political races, in entertainment and news media, that they're putting money there. They get people to follow what they want. So what happens if $1 trillion goes to Gavin Newsom? What if China gives a loan of $1 trillion to Gavin Newsom? Well, to California, but what happened to all the money under Jerry Brown for this bullet train? Billions of dollars. Remember, Trump is saying, well, you were asking for more money. Well, where'd you spend the last money? Show us the bullet train. There's nothing there, right? A lot of little busy work done, but the money is gone. Where'd that money go? It was taken by the politicians. It doesn't matter which way and how it filtered in and went through a corporation and went through this or went to that, and where the money's sitting right now. It was taken. So $1 trillion coming into California, is that going to actually provide the people with any ability to get out of tents in, say, any of the cities inside Los Angeles? Is the tent cities going to disappear? Is this money going to be in the hands of those people? If you divided $1 trillion by all the residents of California. Do you think that might help the economy of California? Well, sure it would. Right? Those people would be able to start doing businesses and they would be able to go do things. But do you think that's what's going to happen? No, absolutely not. That money is going to disappear. It is the price tag for them to sell California to China. Now, they're going with their old plan to break up the United States into 5 regions, and that there'd be this regional governor. And who you think wants to be that regional governor? All right, so you can pick out the regions. You can say who's doing this in each of these 5 regions. You can do some research and figure out what these regions are. But there's it's easier. So it's the West Coast, the upper Northeast, the Southeast, right, the South, and then the center, middle. All right, so you have these systems been put in place, these plans for a long time because they know that they wanted to break up America. Now that's not happening, but they still roll forward with all their plans. You can see how stupid they are with wearing masks and when masks don't work. But that don't use hydrochloroquine, it'll kill you. But by the way, the same guy saying that said in 2005 that it is actually can cure it as well as be a vaccine to prevent it. So all of their stuff is falling apart, but they're still rolling forward. They think that they can maneuver this in some way, but they've lost all the ability. They don't have the power anymore. There is the one big hammer that is coming down, and it's coming down now. We know what's happening. We know that this is what is going to be coming across any day now. We're going to see that the gavel is coming. Say Gavin, but the gavel is coming down on top of their heads. There are signs that there is changes coming. So let's look into that. So let me go over to here. Oh, that's X22. That's not what I want to show. But X22 report from today was pretty good. So this is Trump at Whirlpool having a little speech. He's talking about the pharmaceuticals and how he's basically just chopped out all of the money that was flowing through the pharmaceuticals. Huge amounts of money that were put on top of people who are addicted now to pharmaceuticals across the United States and paying super amounts of money for this.
But I've heard the term middlemen for a long time. They are so wealthy. They are so wealthy. Nobody has any idea who the hell they are, what they do. They make more money than the drug companies. In all fairness, at least the drug companies have to produce a product, and it has to be a good product. But the middlemen, well, the rebate that I'm doing cuts out the middlemen and it reduces costs, and the money goes back to the people purchasing the drugs. So I have a lot of enemies out there. This may be the last time you'll see me for a while. A lot of very, very rich enemies, but they are not happy with what I'm doing. But I figure we have one chance to do it, and no other president's going to do what I do.
There we go. So we can see that right there is a Trump coming out and saying that there is something coming down right now, right? That there is enemies coming after him, and he's not going to be around for a while. So this was the quote. I say, I have a lot of enemies out there, but this might be the last time you see me for a while. If you kind of put this into some perspective, what is he saying? Well, let's actually on X. Let me show that little bit of X22. Let me pull that up for a second. So look where Trump is in this picture. Right, he's getting on Air Force One. So what does that mean? Right, it means that he's trying to tell us that he's going on Air Force One and he'll be in the sky as a tactical events are happening. The conclusion to this plan, if you go back and look at the CUE movement, if you spell that out, because we can't say that letter of the alphabet anymore, because it's the one right after 16. See, so we have to camouflage how we say things so that it actually doesn't get shadowed. So we can see that we look back a year ago at at the beginning of QAnon, which is the end of September, of 2017, where we had the first Q post coming in, and he basically laid out everything at that time for this time. In fact, the most telling thing is for me is that John Podesta accused of an arrest warrant issued for him for November 3rd, actionable on November 4th, the day after the election. So what do we see? We see this unrolling from back then, future proving past, is what I said it. So CUE, what was said to us. Our favorite Anon, I guess, is a good way of putting it. Our favorite Anon. Our favorite Anon said this back then, right? Meaning for now. This is what it's all about. This is the wrap up of what's been going on. It's happening right now. It's so we saw Barr testifying at the Senate, and they're trying to get him to say, well, you're not going to release these reports, the Durham reports, before the election, because that would be against the policy. And you know the rules. And so they ask, well, are you willing to, what did they say? We're willing to confirm that you're not going to release these reports before the election. He said, no, I'm not going to confirm that to you. I'm not going to do that. Because he doesn't say, well, you know the rules. He knows the rules. Well, there is no rules regarding this, right? Because none of the people are under investigation that are by Durham are running for election. So he can release and bring all this out. And it's probably going to happen now. It's probably going to happen within the next couple of weeks. We're going to start seeing this happening. And everything is coming to a conclusion right now. So we see these things are brewing. And we need to really realize that we have to do it now. We really can't wait. Because what is their plan, right? They need to basically gum up the election and stop the votes from being counted with the mail-in ballot. Not that they'd win. They know that they can't win. Look at their candidate. So look at what they're trying to do is push, millions of ballots out there that would have to be counted, in mail, and they're lost in the mail, and they'll delay it and delay it and delay it and delay it, and they put in an interim president while that's happening. Well, who do they want for that? Nancy Pelosi, right? So we know what the game plan is. So they can't wait, right? They have to really just lower the boom on them at this point. What are the other things that we're under the gun about, right? Well, the second wave. Second wave of all different pandemics that they have planned. And it's not a pretty sight. So let's go and take a look at the other thing that's brewing. Now you've heard about COVID coming back, right? So we've got the second wave. Of course, very difficult to have that happen in this hot weather, but obviously somehow the coronavirus has some way of air conditioning itself so that it doesn't get destroyed by the sun. But let's look at what this is. This is a tweet from IET, Mr. Botus 520. Very important info. Outbreak expected. So let's go take a look at this. So there's an outbreak expected, but is it corona? No, it's not. This is something that is actually going to threaten children, right? Well, children are immune to the COVID, right? So now they're going after the children. Why? Because they want to get everyone so frightened about what's coming. And this is from ABC News. Oh, very reliable source, right? CDC expects 2020 outbreak of life-threatening AFM in children. Now, this is scary unto itself. Actually, that picture seems familiar for some reason. Anyway, so the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issue a call to action to warn of potential outbreak between the end of this summer and winter of a rare but potentially lethal disease that affects young children who are seeking medical attention right away. Could make all the difference. Acute phallic myelitis, right, is a medical emergency that requires immediate recognition and care, urged the CDC Director Robert Renfield. So this is AFM is a rare, rapid onset neurological disease affecting the spinal cord, leading to paralysis. Symptoms of AFM include sudden arm or leg weakness, difficulty walking, limb pain, back pain, or neck pain. AFM can cause paralysis over a course of hours to days, which may require a ventilator for breathing. Really? May require a ventilator. Now that's very interesting because we have, as Trump likes to say, we're the king of ventilators. So many ventilators improperly used before. Well, that's this disease. So let's go on. Well, let's look at this one. So why is this of concern, right? What are we talking about doing is vaccination, right? Vaccination of children, vaccination of the whole population. That's what Bill Gates wants to do. That's what the World Health Organization wants to do, right? How do they know that this disease is coming, right? Where is it? I mean, how can they predict it? You know, how does this just pop up? Is there a case somewhere? How is it coming about? Well, so AstraZeneca to be exempt from coronavirus vaccine liability claims in most countries. So that's interesting. Right, this is usnews.com, and this is from July 30th. So AstraZeneca has been granted protection from future project liability claims related to COVID-19 vaccines, hopefully by most of the countries, which will have struck supply agreements, as a senior executive told Reuters. With 25 companies testing their vaccine candidates on humans and getting ready to immerse hundreds of millions of people once our products are shown to work, the question who pays for any claims of damages in case of side effects has been a tricky point in supply negotiations. This is a unique situation where a company cannot simply take the risk if 4 years the vaccine is showing side effects. Ruud Dobler, a member of Astra's senior executive team, told Reuters. So what they're talking about here is that they'll make this vaccine, but no one will be able to sue them, right? So they can keep all the money that they make from selling this vaccine. And it doesn't matter if it kills people. So, or if it causes other kind of effects, such as AFM. So this is what we're really looking at. How do they know that there's going to be this horrible disease that's going to affect children? And what do we want to do? Protect our children. But if we give them a vaccine and it causes AFM in children, we can't sue the vaccine manufacturer. Because how do they know this is coming? How do they know that this is coming in 2020? I mean, after all, we're already in August. Not that many months left. It's a very close prediction. Where's the evidence? Well, what they know is that the vaccine is coming by the end of 2020, just before the election, so everyone also has the ability to go out and get vaccinated, so or they don't feel there's a problem. Now, I don't think that we're going to have this happening to us. I think that we're going to have HC and then CUE. We can't say that letter. So the malaria medicine that actually cures this. So now we're going to have, we should look at really realizing that they are setting the stage, setting the narrative right now for us to be frightened for our kids and to go out and get the vaccination. And the result is going to be AFM and no ability to sue the manufacturers. Well, that's it. That's what I want to cover for today. Let me go ahead and put the webcam on for a moment. And I'm glad I'm back to live streaming. I hope that I can keep this up. I gotta try and manage things from this system and make sure I'm able to keep things rolling. We had 6 viewers yesterday. We're up to 28 today. Yay! So we're quadrupled the number of people in one day for our live stream. So thank you all for joining in. I am requesting donations. My project is on hold. Everyone that has signed up to work with me on building up Goldring Coin they're all hit hard. They can't move. They literally can't move, so they can't meet people. So they're all very upset about this, but everything is at a standstill. That leaves me in a very bad position. I'm not able to go ahead and pay bills. I'm not able to do things. I really have to exist off of donations at this point. And this is a very strange time. My family is having many issues as well. Talking with my family members, it's very bad. They've been helping me the last couple of months as this started winding down in May, and then June it kind of stopped. So now we're July and into August. So this is a very difficult time for me. I also didn't want to do anything where I was even back then because of United News Channel was getting up and running, but I didn't want to give conflict and ask back then. But now I really need some help. So my PayPal is down below. See what you can do, or go to the wwg1wga.love site and choose to give a donation. There and be part of that. We're going to focus on building up that site and bringing the articles like I just completed, which is a lot of people really liked, is the Worldwide Civil War, Us versus Them. I'm continuing to work on the next article, which is Worldwide Civil War, Them, Who Are They? And then then after that, the next one after that is Us. And then I've got written down 6. I imagine there'll end up being quite a few more coming after that about different aspects of this battle, this worldwide civil war. So until tomorrow, I'll be back on and trying to keep getting it down into the 9 o'clock time frame. But we'll see if we can settle in around that time, around 9 o'clock tomorrow. So until then, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.